Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ranjeeta Soni. I am Faculty of Environmental Science in Jagannath University. Here I want to share some basic contents of the environmental studies syllabus. So, if we talk about the environment, the basic components, how we need to study about the environment regarding the basic structures and the components and the various types of ecosystems, and as we know about the study of environmental education, because it is a need at the time to study about the reasons of waste generations, then reasons and sources about the pollutions, then how we conserve the ecosystem and overall environment. So these kinds of fundamentals we have to study about the various kinds of components about the environmental studies. So basically in the syllabus, basically 15 units are comprises, and in each and every unit comprise different kinds of components, and basically it relates the overview about the waste, then types of waste, types of pollutions, then the basic study about the biodiversity and why the need of biodiversity conservation, then about the public awareness, about the sustainable development and the conservation of environment by the various technologies, including in pollution and control technologies. So if we see in the unit first about the ecosystem, so in this unit we can understand about the basic structure of ecosystem, including the components of abiotic and biotic. Then we can discuss about the flow of energy by the help of food chains, food webs and the ecological pyramids. Now in biogeochemical cycle, basically we can understand about the various kinds of component cycling, including gaseous cycles like carbon dioxide cycles, oxygen cycle, nitrogen and carbon dioxide. So, similarly, we can study about the water cycles and some sedimentary cycles also. Now, in unit second, we can discuss or understand about the values, types and levels of biodiversity and the various reasons which are depends for the depletion of biodiversity. So, as we need the various kinds of natural resources now at time as per our population structure, so we need to conserve. How we can conserve by maintaining the various kinds of control technologies. So we can discuss here in the topic conservation of biodiversity. Now when we talk about the pollution, we know about the various kinds of pollution like air pollution, water pollution. As we know very well about the air pollution, how we are generating the lot of gases by the help of industries or automobile. So there are lot of reasons where basically industries and domestic areas and the various kinds of sources are releasing the lot of amounts of gases and particulate pollutants. So there are three different kinds of units in this area, in this category. Basically in water pollution, we can discuss about the basic sources of water. As we know, the water are the main component on earth, but the drinking content, the concentration of drinking water, as we are utilizing the groundwater, so the very little amount are available on earth. So lot of sources are available like ocean, sea, lakes, rivers, but we cannot utilize this water only for drinking purpose. We can just utilize for some other kinds of uses, that means secondary uses. Now we can just know about the water quality standards, like as per ICMR and WHO, World Health Organization, suggest some water parameters. So we can understand about the water parameters, how or we are adopting and we are gaining the water, are pure or not pure. So we can just identify about the contamination of water. Now there are lot of sources which can responsible for the pollution. So they may be classified natural sources and man-made sources. And finally, if we are getting the contaminated water, so we know about the various kinds of diseases, that means the effects of water. That means how polluted water are affect our day-to-day life and our body and our health issues. So various kinds of waterborne diseases we can discuss here and the effects of water pollution. Now similarly, if we talk about the air pollution, just we know about the basic composition of atmosphere. Now air quality standards, as we know about the air quality index, in each and every season or climate we can discuss on newspapers about the air quality index. So in this unit we can understand the basic reasons and how we can calculate the AQI. Similarly, the sources and adverse effects of air pollutions. So basically, what are the basic reasons which are responsible for the air pollution and how we can suffer from these kinds of sources. As we know, industries are very important for us for the development, but how they are polluting day by day of our air quality. So we know about the basic sources of air quality, but similarly we know about the adverse effect also about the air pollution or due to the pollution activities. So including in this unit with the effects of adverse effect of air pollution, we can also just know about the greenhouse effect, which is directly related to the global warming, and we can also learn about like acid rains and ozone depletions and other climatic changes and other effects of environment. So all are important. Now if we talk about the noise pollution, it is also a part of pollution category, other air pollution and water pollution. In this category we can just understand about the various kinds of measurements units and levels of noise and the basic sources of noise pollution generation. Like if we are using any kind of DJ parties and other festivals or carnivals in our domestic appliances, so all are responsible to generate the naturally noise pollution. So we can just understand about these sources. Now we can also understand how we can control these kinds of sources, because they all are important for us, but at the time when we want to control, we want to manage, so we have to adopt some technologies to reduce these kinds of pollution. As we know, the noise pollution are also basically effects on our health, human health and surrounding environments. So we have to control these kind of pollutions. Now apart from the pollution, this is another kind of adverse effect on environment, but basically it is a solid waste management. As we know, at this time the waste are various kinds of categories like e-waste, then biomedical waste, then municipal waste, then other domestic urban waste. So solid waste management is a broad area where we can learn or understand about the management technologies, how we can collect or conserve or treat the waste. So in this category, if we talk about the municipal waste, so we can discuss about the various kind of classification of the sources of municipal waste, then what is the basic composition and characteristics of solid waste. Now as per the management part of solid waste, first we should know about their collection, conveyance and the disposal method. And the disposal category, disposal part is a very important for the solid waste management, where we can just learn about some technologies like how we can dump our solid waste, whether it will be generated from any domestic areas or any biomedical or medical institution areas or other industrial areas. So there are a lot of technologies where we can adopt as per the solid waste how we can dispose of. Like if we generate any kind of solid waste from the domestic area, so we can prepare a compost from the garbage or rubbish waste. And if we are generate the biomedical waste, so basically it is a kind of contaminated waste, so we have to incinerate on the high temperature and high pressure. Then if we are generating the industrial waste, so we have to just manage in form of sanitary landfilling or some part of incineration and sometimes in part of composting. And nowadays the vermicompost are a very popular method for the composting of or dumping of agricultural waste. So these all methods can be studied in the unit solid waste management. Now biomedical waste, as we discussed, it is basically generated from the medical institutions or veterinary or hospital areas. So before the disposal, here we have to know about the how we can manage. So first, collection is very important for the biomedical waste. So different kind of color coding buckets we can collect the biomedical waste. Now the unit 9 basically it based on non-conventional energy resources. As we know, the fossil fuel are in less amount, so as per the population we cannot use more time these kinds of resources. So basically now we have to focused on the various kinds of renewable energy sources, and various kinds of energy sources we are using, like solar energy, wind energy, then energy which can be generated from the water, then biomass energy, which are very popular in rural areas also, then energy from geothermal areas. So there are different kinds of sources, nuclear energy, hydrogen energy. So basically in this unit we can just discuss about the various kinds of energy resources with their potentials. That means which energy source are very much important, and various kinds of application we can discuss where we are using these kinds of sources. Like if we talk about the solar energy, we are using solar thermal panels, solar cookers, then solar distillation assemblies. And if we talk about the biomass energy, we are using biogas productions, biofuels, then various kinds of gasification processes we are using. So both of the unit comprise the renewable energies. Then if we talk about the 11th unit, that is based on social issues and environmental impact assessment. Basically this unit comprise the various kinds of social issues which are related, like if we know about the Chipko movement, if we heard about the various kinds of public awareness issues. Some NGOs are also involved with the social issues to maintain and save our environment and the conservation methods. So we can learn about how the social issues are relevant with the environmental conservation. And environmental impact assessment basically a kind of study to basically know about which kind of effect may be generated after the installation of any kind of project or activity. So these are the elementary studies in this unit. Now sustainable development is very important nowadays because our country are basically focused on the 17 sustainable development goals, and by adopting these sustainable development goals we can achieve the major target to save and control the environment. And in this category we can also understand about the water conservation technologies, about the rainwater harvesting, and the technologies where we can minimize the pollution related activities, and we can adopt some fuel or energy minimization technologies also. That means how we can use cycling for short distance in place of two-wheeler or four-wheelers. Similarly, we can adopt the 3 Rs rules and 5 Ps philosophy for controlling and management the environment. Now similarly, as we talk about the social issues, public awareness is very much important to know about the environment and how we can save the environment. So basically it relates the previous and historical part of the environmental conservation and related various kinds of issues. Like if we know about the study of Taj Mahal, where the marble are corroding. So what are the reason behind the degradation of marble of the Taj Mahal area, Taj Mahal monument? So basically these kinds of awareness, as we can know about the Chipko movement, where the people are how aware about to save the trees. So basically these kinds of example correlate the public awareness. Nowadays people are more aware about to save their environment. So the public awareness is a topic where we can just correlate the ecosystem or our environment save responsibility each and everyone. Now environmental education also correlates how we are using our natural resources day by day. So we have to manage sustainably these resources, like water we are using, we have to stop the misuse of water, we have to stop the control of water pollution. Similarly, if we are using our industries, so we have to some controlling equipment technologies for reducing the air pollution. Similarly, like we are using e-vehicles, so e-vehicles can maintain the environmental AQI, and they may help to reduce the overburden on basically fossil fuels. So these all kinds of examples and resources we can discuss in the public awareness and about the environmental education. Now basically environmental legislation is a part of environmental conservation or controlling the environment activities, those adverse effect on environment. So basically there are lot of kinds of laws, acts and conventions are made to control these kinds of adverse activities. Like if we talk about the main component of the environmental legislation, which is related with the 1986 Environmental Protection Act. So this act basically comprises various kinds of principles where we can conserve our natural resources, including water, soil, air and trees, and we have to maintain the various kinds of green activities like to minimize the pollution generated activities. So we can discuss the various kinds of principles, around 27 principles in the EPA Act 1986. Now in the air prevention acts, there are a lot of acts based on different kinds of sources. Like if we talk about the Air Quality Control and Prevention Act, basically this act is made on 1981, and in this act we can discuss what is the basic mean of air pollution and what are the basic reasons where the air quality are decreasing day by day and how we can conserve. So in this act we can just know about which kind of powers and boards are basically comprise the various kinds of activities and their functions, and those people are responsible to deteriorate the quality of air. Basically how they can be punished or how they are comes in a part of offense. So which kind of punishment and fine or any kind of penalties basically based on in this category. See another kind of acts like Water Prevention and Control Act, it's based on 1974 Act, and again it is a part of to maintain the water quality and to minimize the pollution in the water. It is all kind of water bodies including rivers and oceans and groundwater contamination also. So those people are contaminating the water quality, they are a part of offense and crime, and the power and basically the board can be use their power to give their fine and punishments. Now as per the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, basically they are based on the conservation of wildlife basically. So if you know about in our country there are a lot of examples where some people are illegal hunting and poaching include in this category, and they are fined or punished under this act. And if we talk about the Forest Conservation Act, basically they conserve our forest area, and we should know how many land should be covered in the forest area. So it's around 33% land area basically covered in forest, and those areas which are covered in 33% area basically they maintained by the people, and when we are using their natural resources like miscellaneous products of forest, we have to maintain. That means if we are using the products from forest, we have to maintain in form of afforestation and more plantation. So these kinds of activities we have to discuss in these kinds of acts. So this is a brief about all kinds of units in related with the environmental studies syllabus. Thank you.